Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, Her Excellency the Minister of Education will preside over the graduation ceremony of the 29th batch of students of the Sultan Qaboos University. Formation of a tropical depression southeast of the Arabian Sea is observed, which is centered about 1,550 kilometers away from the Sultanate coasts. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed Shaybaniya, Minister of Education, will preside over the graduation ceremony of the 29th batch of the students of the Sultan Qaboos University. The first ceremony will be held on the 28th of October 2018, and the second ceremony will be on 11th of November. The number of graduates is around 2,900 male and female students from various colleges. The latest analysis of National Multi-Hazard Early Warning Center observed the formation of a tropical depression southeast of the Arabian Sea. The maximum wind speed around the center is estimated from 31 to 50 kilometers per hour. It is located at latitude 77 or 67.5 east and longitude 11.7 north. The weather system is about 1,550 kilometers away from the Sultanate's coast. The latest numerical weather predictions indicate movement of the system towards the west-northwest direction, with probability of further intensification into a deep depression and later to a tropical storm within the next 48 hours without any effects on the Sultanate's coast in the upcoming 3 days. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation advises public to follow the latest official weather bulletins. The General Federation of Oman Trade Unions was elected to occupy 3 seats at the Arab Federation of Trade Unions, 1 seat at the Chairmanship Board, another at the Executive Office, and the 3rd at the Central Council for the period from 2018 to 2022. This came in the final communique of the second conference of the Arab Federation for Trade Unions, which was organized in Marrakesh city in Morocco. The conference witnessed a wide participation of 34 regional and international organizations. It discussed latest topics and developments in the field of trade union works and latest projects and initiatives in this field. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo pledged today that the Trump administration's efforts to get North Korea to give up its nuclear weapons would be fully coordinated with allies Japan and South Korea as he prepared to travel to Pyongyang under pressure to produce tangible progress towards that goal. Pompeo met Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo on the eve of his 4th visit to North Korea, during which he'll be looking to arrange a second summit between President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and plot a path forward on denuclearization. Pompeo's diplomatic offensive comes as Trump presses to meet with Kim for a second time after their June summit in Singapore produced a vague agreement on denuclearization with few, if any, specifics. North Korea so far has suspended nuclear and missile states freed 3 American prisoners and dismantled parts of a missiles engine facility and tunnel entrances at a nuclear test site. It has not taken any steps to halt nuclear weapons or missiles development. Ukraine unveiled a solar plant in Chernobyl, just across from where a power station now encased in a giant sarcophagus caused the world's worst nuclear disaster 3 decades ago. Built in a contaminated area which remains largely uninhabitable and where visitors are accompanied by guides carrying radiation meters, 3,800 panels produce energy to power 2,000 apartments. In April 1986, a botched test at reactor number 4 at the Soviet plant set sent clouds of nuclear material billowing across Europe and forced tens of thousands of people to evacuate. 31 plant workers and firemen died in an immediate aftermath of the accidents, mostly from acute radiation sickness. Thousands more later succumbed to radiation-related illness such as cancer. The 1 megawatt solar plant is a joint project by Ukrainian company Redina and Germany's Energiepark AG, costing around 1 million euros. In Senegal, young entrepreneurs are teeming with ideas, but investors remain cautious, specifically when it comes to funding tech startups. But things could be starting to change. More details in the following report.
These young Senegalese entrepreneurs have 3 minutes to deliver their pitch. They're taking part in a global competition to win funding to develop their startup ideas. Olivia Ndiaye's business got going less than 2 years ago.
On s'est très vite entouré de bonnes personnes, on s'est fait très vite
We quickly got all the right people in place, quickly found an incubator to help us to structure the project. But unfortunately, it's more the financial side, the investors, funding, especially in the early stages. That's where you find difficulties.
C'est là où il y a un peu plus de difficultés, oui, c'est.
The relative novelty of tech startups adds to the cautious attitude of investors in a country where financial resources are limited. Swiss investment fund SeedStars has a presence in 80 developing countries, including Senegal and other parts of sub-Saharan Africa.
What's lacking is investment in smaller scale projects for startups that need between around $10,000 to $50,000. The private investor scene doesn't really exist today, or at least it needs a lot of development. That's one of the main things that SeedStars will do, by looking for early stage startups that often have a great need for funding today.
Yet things are getting going at a local level as well. CTIC, a business incubator started in Dakar in 2011, recently organised a regional investors summit. And the Senegalese state has also taken measures to boost entrepreneurship.
For some years now, Senegal has lowered the minimum social capital necessary to start a business from 1 million CFA francs to 100,000 CFA francs. You can have a social capital of 100,000 CFA francs. I think that really facilitates the creation of limited liability companies and their single owner equivalents.
Authorities are also planning to open a digital technology park in 2021 to further galvanise this sector. With these changes to Senegal's business environment, other young investors like Olivia may soon be able to get their business ideas up and running.
Still to come in our news bulletin. With the advent of winter season and decrease in temperatures, tourists flock to the Wilaya of Deba in the governorate of Masandam. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Minister of Sports Affairs officially inaugurated the websites of youth creation competitions for 2018-2019. The inauguration coincides with the launching of the first stage of the competition, which lasts until the end of the current year. The websites will provide an opportunity to get acquainted with all the aspects related to youth creation competitions. The site was inaugurated by His Excellency Sheikh Saad bin Mohammed Al Mardouf Al Saadi, Minister of Sports Affairs. The World Elderly Day, which falls on the 1st of October every year, was marked in a celebration organized by the Minister of Health in cooperation with Oman Team for Elderly Care. The day came in an implementation of the recommendations of the United Nations for sustainable development in the field of parents and elderly care. It came to highlight the needs of these important segments of the society and ways to care for them. The event included many sports and entertainment activities with the participation of many Omani voluntary teams and students groups from some universities and colleges in the Sultanate. The main index of Muscat securities market witnessed an increase by 3% during September 2018 to close at 4,500 points. This came due to the positive raise in the price of oil, which exceeded $80 per barrel compared to the price of oil back in September, which was around $76. With the advent of the winter season and decrease in temperatures, tourists started arriving in the Wilaya of Daba in the governorate of Musandam. They came to enjoy the beauty of beaches and caves in the Wilaya. From early morning, visitors from inside and outside the Sultanate starts their trip via traditional boats, enjoy the natural beauty of sea and the places they pass through. They also practice some sea sports such as swimming and diving. Tourism movement during winter season is always very interesting. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the most of the governorates with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the coast of the Arabian Sea. Winds will be southeasterly to south light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. More details on your screen. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Signed by His Majesty the Sultan, Her Excellency the Minister of Education will preside over the graduation ceremony of the 29th batch of students of the Sultan Qaboos University. The formation of a tropical depression southeast of the Arabian Sea is observed, which is centered about 1,550 kilometers away from the Sultanate's coasts. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From the entire news team and myself, we thank you for joining us and good night.